I'm Gina Mizell here with Letourneau on a very hazy officially fall day in Corvallis. Oregon State, of course, preparing for a huge Pac-12 opener at USC on Saturday night at the Coliseum. And speaking of the Coliseum, did you know that Oregon State has not won at USC since 1960? If you didn't know that, you know it now because a bunch of players were asked about it, some of them multiple times by multiple people today. You were kind of there as players were getting that question tossed at them. What's the general consensus? Does that matter at all to these players, or is that kind of a motivational factor to end this streak in LA?
I heard a couple players today admit that it did matter to them. They said that, that's added motivation, but other players said they don't need any more added motivation. Storm Woods, I think, put it well just now when he said, look, this is USC. They're the top dogs of the conference. If we need added motivation against USC, there's probably something wrong with us, especially given what USC did to this team in Research Stadium last year. So I don't think this team's going to be short on motivation come Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, 7:30 kickoff at the Coliseum. Some sort of newsy items. Again, the wide receiving core remains to be a storyline for this team. Victor Bolden obviously will not play against the Trojans as he recovers from that finger injury. It's still in a sling. It's still in a cast after getting some sutures to repair the injury there. Ramel Dockery, as of Tuesday, was not back at practice yet. He was kind of just running on the side. And you talked to Xavier Hawkins, who would be next in line to burn that red shirt and start at flanker or play at flanker, maybe at return or something along those lines. How is he faring going into a big time game for him?
He said that coaches gave him kind of the opportunity earlier this week on Monday whether or not he wanted to have his red shirt burned, and he said, "Yeah, let's do it." He's raring to go. He's excited. It's kind of a dream come true for him. This is a former 2-star recruit who a little over a year ago was on his way probably to Middle Tennessee State. So, this is kind of a dream come true for him in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely different, perhaps suiting up in the Coliseum and playing, and possibly the most popular guy in Knoxville, Tennessee, based on how Twitter always responds whenever either one of us mention him. So obviously a lot of support from back home, but yeah, huge situation for him. Another interesting development that has been a development all spring, all summer, all fall camp, even into the early season. Kyle Pecco, perhaps the most interesting Oregon State player who has never played it down for the Beavers yet this season.
And who we can't talk to.
Right, and we cannot talk to him, but you have the latest on his academic eligibility situation. What do we know at this point?
Talked to a team spokesman today who said that a small change has been made. No matter what happens, whether or not he's able to play before his temporary eligibility runs out at the end of the month, he will be able to practice the rest of the season. He got enough paperwork to show that he has enough forward progress in his major to be able to practice the rest of the season. He hasn't been able to show enough to guarantee that he'll be able to play, though. So his status for Saturday is still in flux. The spokesman told me there's still a very good chance that they won't hear anything by Saturday. So that means that if he doesn't play this season, he'll have 1 year potentially to play 1 year after practicing this year.
Obviously an ongoing thing, and I think one of the biggest misconceptions about this whole situation is this is not an NCAA issue at this point, correct? It's still that Oregon State hasn't received the paperwork to
They haven't even been able to show.
Right, yeah, so Oregon State hasn't received it to then submit it to the NCAA, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so again, an ongoing situation. We'll continue to monitor it, and again, I know people are always asking us about it, and that's the latest, and we'll keep updating once there's more
information. But he would help
on
Saturday against that O-line.
Yeah, absolutely, no, and he would definitely help this season for the Beavers. So again, we will be here all week writing stories for the Oregonian and on OregonLive.com. For Letourneau, I'm Gina Mizell. We'll catch you next time from Corvallis.